Are we on? Hello everyone! Welcome to the full bundle review of Highway Slicers. Or March? It's already March?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Okay, it's our March Sci-Fi bundle. We have a lot of stuff to get through today. The bundle comes out tomorrow. And let's get started with a couple of announcements, right?
Okay.
And do let us know if you guys can hear us well. We were a little bit late because we were testing some things out with the audio. So yeah, let us know and let's get started.
Okay. For you guys that don't know me, I'm Luca. I'm the lore editor here at Loot, and here are some the video announcement for this month because we have a very exciting video coming out. This is our Zero to Giant Turtle video. This is our Giant Turtle, our fortress-backed tortoise from the Crusade of Darkness video, from zero, from like concept to pretty much done in your table. So that's going to be a really interesting video.
It gets through everything, right? So concept, the sculpting process, the printing process, the assembly process,
Yes.
which was a lot.
I believe painting as well, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, because I think Marcia is coming back from her vacation. So
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll probably have her hands full finishing that up.
Yes.
It is a big turtle. Tortoise? It's a tortoise, technically, right?
We call it a tortoise. So
Yes, it's a tortoise.
Yes. Continue.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, okay, so we're just adjusting a couple of things here. We also have another announcement, a fun one. We are going to have a paint party. The painting party will happen in Loot's Discord. We've been doing this for a couple of months now. We've done a couple of them, and it will happen this Thursday at 11 a.m. PDT on Loot's Discord. So again, this Thursday, 11 a.m. PDT on Loot's Discord.
It's gonna be fun, you guys.
Yeah. So if you feel free to join in, bring your mini to paint. Just open up your camera and let's have a chat. Let's paint some minis. And yeah, I think we are ready to get started. Are we getting some echo?
Okay.
Okay, so we are getting some echo from the room apparently, and let me actually just check.
That might have been what Mateus was doing here.
Oh, okay.
So tell us.
Is
if
it
the
any
echo's
better,
gone.
everyone? So let us know, and we will continue.
Yes.
We shouldn't be getting any background echo from the room, but we may have some adjustments to make on the mic here. So yeah, let us know. But anyways, we should probably get started. We have a lot of stuff to get through today. And let's start with our bundle, Highway Slicers. And just before we get to the first character, I'd like to talk a little bit about the overall idea for this bundle. So we wanted to do a badass kind of motorcycle gang bundle, right? It is a little bit tricky to do. It would have been a little bit too much one note to do just bikers. So we have a couple of other types of characters sprinkled around, and we have 3 different types of gangs with 3 different teams, and we have a almost a punk Scooby-Doo story going on in the background. But let's start with the big kind of villain for this bundle, the Bale Rider. So actually, yes, there we go. So, it's the Bale Rider actually, the first one. So we should. Do we have another one? Yeah, there we go. That's the Bale Rider. So the Bale Rider, which you guys are seeing that in its concept by Victor Augusto. And we can move on to the sculpt now. The sculpt was done by Eduardo Lobo. And the Bale Rider is kind of the big villain. He's the kind of the Ghost Rider for this bundle, right? The spirit of vengeance.
It's kind of the spirit from the past. For
Yes, it's the ghost of Christmas past.
Exactly.
Right? That is he's coming to collect, let's say.
So imagine the members, the leaders of the gangs kind of betrayed someone in the past, and he died, but he didn't quite die. So that's our character.
Yes, and we do explain the truth of this mystery in the story for this bundle. Definitely check out the magazine for that.
Yes.
But the idea for this character is that maybe he's not really a ghost. So you guys are going to see a lot of different effects on him, right? So here we go. Let's see here. Oh, it may be a little bit dark. Let us know if you guys can see it well. So this is it. This is our very, very kind of, Ghost Rider, road spirit inspired character. You will notice that there's a lot of flames around his coat here. A lot of... we're going to have to do some adjustments to the camera, so don't mind any extra noise here, folks. But you also see these effects, which are supposed to be, they're a little bit of a hint that maybe it's not real fire. Maybe it's just, an illusion, a hologram, or something like that.
And I love those effects, actually.
Yeah, and it's a very, very fun character. I think that's the whole reason we went with the kind of Scooby-Doo theme for the story here. This guy, you do not want to meet him in a dark road, right?
Perfect.
So let's move on to the next character.
Okay, let's actually move on to our first gang, which is very excited. They are the Leather Rebels. They are kind of our classic biker gang, kind of represented in these 4 characters, and their leader is actually Painkiller Bill. Painkiller's Bill concept art was done by Lucas Leandro, and it was sculpted by Sebastian Ramos. Let's take a look at that sculpt, actually. Yeah.
This one. Oh, is that the? I think that's the. Is that the right one? Oh,
yeah,
yes,
that's the right one.
Yes, that's
yes.
the right one. Yes. A lot of people in leather jackets in this bundle, folks. So yeah, I think I misidentified the close up, and you will notice that the different gangs have a different bike symbols. Ooh, are we good? Okay, so you will notice that the different gangs have different symbols in their jackets. So yeah, the Leather Rebels, they have a very, very fun Grim Reaper back here. So
Okay.
yeah,
Let's take a closer look at it. I love the gun on this one as well. It feels very fitting for the character.
yeah, it's kind of a a 4-shooter, a 6-shooter, something like that. Okay, we're gonna go back to the video now while we do some adjustments to the camera here, folks. So yeah, this is the leader of our first gang. We have a little bit of backstory for all of them,
Yes.
right? So yeah, all of the leaders used to be part of the same gang.
The 4 horsemen, right?
Yes, and then something happened, and their leader vanished or died, perished with a lot of money, and with the map, the secret to find it. Years later, they get the clues that they need to follow through with and find the treasure. So yeah, it's a very. I think we're very on the nose with the themes here for this bundle. I absolutely love this model. We do have a lot of different cyberware in this bundle, a lot of different, prosthetics. So this guy from the Leather Rebels is a little bit more, diesel punk than some of the other gangs that we have here. And I think it's very, very fitting for him.
Yeah. Kind of a prosthetic made to last the bike rides.
Yeah, and made to be cheap, right? And probably made to take a couple of bullet hits.
Yes. Absolutely. I love the details of like the brass knuckles that he has for his gang, and kind of the little hammer to kind of drive home the painkiller kind of vibe to him.
Yeah, this is not the kind of guy. The Painkiller nickname, yeah, you don't want to take this painkiller, right? It's not going to be a fun ride.
It might be a final one though.
Yes, and yeah, the brass knuckles here are a very, very nice detail that we are going to talk a little bit more about later. So let's move on to our next character from this particular gang. The next one is the Anarchizer. And yeah, this guy is kind of awesome. He's kind of your quintessential, Hell's Angels kind of character, right? The concept art there was done by Tarek Moutran, and the sculpt, which you guys are going to be seeing now, was done by Lucas Hayes.
Yes, this is kind of the wise old man for the gang. He has survived for a long time, and that is because he's kind of on the nose about everything.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, be wary of an old guy in a profession where people tend to die young. So yeah, this is the geezer. I love his beard here. I can't wait for someone, because he does have, the long beard, the long hair. I can't wait for someone to paint him with the Santa Claus colors.
Oh yeah.
I think it would be quite fitting. It would be quite weird, but quite fun, actually.
I love that.
We do have a version of this character that is made, a 32mm version of this character that actually has the bike for this gang. We're gonna hold off and only show the bikes later, closer to the rest of the objects. But yeah, this is going to be the rider for this bundle. So yeah, I love the detail of the belt buckle here, the little kind of ram skull.
Yeah, that's
it's
really
just
nice.
Great.
And anytime a mini has smoke effect, it's got me immediately. I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, who do we have? Next one's a fun one.
Yeah, we have our kind of character that is sauntering in from the next bundle. He is our Ian Lonehill, who is this guy who just joined the Leather Rebels. The concept art for Ian was done by Rafael Loureiro, and he is kind of this reminiscent from another part of the worlds, kind of.
Yeah, he's a cowboy, right? So let's check out the sculpt.
The sculpt
Yes,
was
there we
done
go.
by Sebastian Ramos.
Yes, and we actually have this is a double up, right? So we have Ian and we have his faithful hound, and we actually have. Let me just grab them here. We actually have the two versions. We have a version with the dog that fits on Ian's base here, and I love the vibe here. He's kind of like a sci-fi western bard.
Yes.
A badass character, and he has this very, very loyal dog here.
I love how scruffy the dog is too.
Yeah. And we actually have him on his own little base here, where you can see all of the little details.
That's amazing. That's actually a mini that we also have a bust for.
Yes, so let's check out the bust. Let me grab that here real quick. And here is the bust for Ian Lonehill. And I think we wanted, when we were... This character is actually... there we go. This character is actually gives us a little bit of a hint for an upcoming bundle. So yeah, he comes from a very distant land, and he's trying to make his life here now. Things didn't quite turn out well for him wherever he was before. So yeah, there we go. And I love the guitar actually has 6 strings. A couple like you guys really notice stuff whenever we do an instrument that has an odd number of strings. People are always like, which instrument is that supposed to be? And we're like, yeah, it's supposed to be on a 32mm miniature. You guys weren't supposed to notice that, but you guys always do. So yeah, we try to make the details stick.
I love the Willie Nelson vibe he has, kind of even with the broken guitar.
Yeah.
It's an amazingly kind of characteristic mini. I love that.
Yeah, and I love the gun as well, the big shotgun.
Yes.
The big kind of double barrel shotgun. So yeah, let's move on to our next character, which is actually going to be the last character for this gang, which is the Smoking Rider. And smoking here has a couple of different meanings, right? The concept art for this one was also done by Tarek Moutran. And the sculpt, which you guys are going to be taking a look at now, was done by Romário Ramos. And, you know, I'm actually not sure, so I'm not gonna say it either way, but I'm pretty sure we have mentioned a couple of sculptors that are both with a last name Ramos. I don't think they're related. I think it's just one of those, you know, a lot of similar last names here in Brazil.
Yeah, I think there are more than one pair of like similar.
Yes. But yeah, this guy is the recruiter for the Leather Rebels.
Yes.
So he's a very, very, you know, suave looking guy.
Some would say smoking.
Yes, exactly. I love the position of his glasses here. And I just love the vibe with this model, right? And I actually think we can see it a little bit better on the bust version here.
Yes.
Like, this is a great bust.
This is a model with attitude, pretty much.
Yes, like the glasses here. Just god damn it. Yeah, this is a lot of I don't know what people are saying these days. Like how do you say a guy looks cool? Like I know that for a while there was a lot of weird adjectives like saying something was on fleek. I never. Do you remember that? That was like years ago.
Not really.
Yeah, but it's really weird stuff. Anyways, this guy looks great. And if you guys want to, you know, put your Kai Bellucci. It seems that we have a little bit of a problem with the credits here. Kai was saying that he was the one that actually sculpted Ian.
So Ian was sculpted by Caio Bellucci.
So sorry about that, Caio. We should pay attention to this. Maybe we can get someone on the outside to just, you know, take a look at the credits and confirm it. It may have been, you know, a one-time thing, or it may have been that we, you know, when we did the credit list, we just bumped everyone once.
Yeah, it might have kind of.
Yeah, it may be messed up. So if anyone from Loot is paying attention to the credits, please let us know if we're getting things wrong here on our little cheat sheet. But yeah, amazing sculpt here by Romário Ramos, and I hope that's the right artist. And I love the little detail of the Green Reaper with a D20 on its mouth here, which again will come back in a little bit of a future model from this bundle. So yeah, this is it for the Leather Rebels. But we are not done yet, so let's move on to the Wild Riders, our next gang, starting with the Jackal. So the Jackal is there in its concept art by Tarek Moutran again, and it was sculpted by Victor Prado. So yeah, let's check out that sculpt. This guy has a very, you know, he has very much, you know, Lobo vibes going on. It was definitely a source of inspiration. We love the look with the dreads though. This could be, you know, your very, very punk rock kind of bike gang.
Yeah.
Right? This guy is really, really awesome. And again, he looks his little jacket. It doesn't have any sleeves, but the collar on this thing is just awesome, right?
It even matches kind of his axe a little bit, kind of on the both sides of the.
Yes.
And
he is the leader. The Jackal is the leader for our next gang.
Yes. Okay. So should we move on to the next mini in the game?
Yeah, let's yeah, let me just chat here real quick. Yeah, people are getting the Lobo reference here, and you will notice that we do try to maintain a couple of we do try to make a couple of stylistic changes between the gangs. So you'll notice a different logo here, and even a different style of cybernetics for the arm.
Yeah.
So this one is higher tech than what the leather rebels had, but it's still not as high as we're going to go as far as tech goes.
We still have one more gang, which is going to be interesting. But let's move on to another mini inside of the Wild Riders, who is our Road Rager.
Yes, who hasn't met a Road Rager?
Yeah, he is kind of this creature filled with rage and a giant axe.
Yes, which I think is actually it's a little part of an engine or something, like the core of it. It's just, this thing must be heavy as hell.
It is massive. The concept for the Road Ragers was done by Igor Gonçalves, and the sculpt was done by Sebastian Ramos. Let's take a look at that right now.
Yeah, it's an amazing character as well. This is another one that could work very, very well as Santa.
Yes.
as a very, very badass and mad Santa. But that's basically, any guy with a long beard and long hair, you could make it work as Santa. And this is a jacked up dude.
He does kind of have that kind of Kratos, kind of mysterious man with an axe kind of vibe to him.
Yeah, the X scar on the chest here, which is always great. A lot of very, very nice detailing with the scars, and you guys are not gonna be able to see it, but even like the little veins, right? It's very very, very veiny arms. I'll put it that way.
This is going to be an interesting mini to paint, kind of.
Yes, and it's going to be an interesting mini to play as well. We like the idea of bringing a couple of the themes, the general themes from the fantasy bundle into sci-fi once in a while. It just gives us a little bit of a base to work for the characters, and this would be quite an amazing barbarian.
Oh yeah, a tech barbarian kind of.
Yeah. So let's take a look at our next character, which is he's not as burly, but he may be even more dangerous, which is the Flailing Sadist.
Yes.
And yeah, he's a sadist. He's kind of a crazy guy. The Wild Riders are a gang that kind of accumulates the rager, the sadist. They're really, maybe we shouldn't be hanging out with this folks kind of. So anyways, the concept art for this one was done by Francisco Ferreira, and the sculpt was done by Lucas Hayes. So let's take a look at the sculpt now.
Okay.
And I love it whenever we are able to do the floating around illusion, and the chains really help with that here. I believe this one is printed with the base, right? But I'm not actually sure.
It would be kind
exactly
of
how
printed otherwise, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not exactly sure. But it's one of those that it's definitely worth it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. And I think I'm just gonna move things here a little bit. Let me move things out of frame here, and there we go. I love the illusion of it floating is just so good.
And I love the sense of style that the Wild Riders have. They all have kind of this different kind of jackets and
yeah, they are very. Just because you're a member of
the Wild gang,
of a quasi post-apocalyptic gang,
exactly,
it doesn't mean that you can't dress nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I love that the stat block for this one includes like what happens when he misses one of those spikes and hits himself. He just gets angrier and hits harder.
Yes. This one is a great character.
Yes. So moving on to kind of the the person who is going to hire for this gang, and a person that has to be a little bit more presentable than the other ones. She's the Wild Headhunter, which is kind of a play on words there for her name. The concept art for the Wild Headhunter was done by Victor Bottesini, and the sculpt was done by Mateus Baboni. And she is kind of the hacker for this one as well, but she has a kind of different hacking pad, kind of.
Yeah, and I think it's so huge. I love this style of cyber deck, which is just basically really unwieldy. You could basically bring a laptop and it would be probably be better.
Yeah, she ripped the table with the computer.
Yeah,
in it.
But I think this size actually works really well for a hoverboard as well. Mm-hmm. Right, so it could double up as a couple of different things.
Yeah, even the vents kind of on the underside of it kind of lend to it.
So yeah, and there's a huge vent like this. Yeah. If you have a vent this big, this is basically like you can use it to hit your room.
Yes,
right?
Pretty much.
So yeah, a lot of computing power in this cyber table thing here. And a little helmet on the base. She can't wear it right now because she's jacked in. Mm-hmm. But a little helmet is always nice to protect yourself. And I love everything about this one. I love the kind of the mohawk with the sides shaved, except for the pork chops.
Yeah.
The really long pork chops. I kind of love it.
I love it. And I love how our artists kind of got the kind of vibe for each gang, and they all feel like they're part of the same gang, really.
Yeah. The Wild Ride code being there's no code.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these guys are all amazing.
Literally born to be wild.
Yes. And I think we are ready for our next gang. Let's take a look at Cyberbreath, starting with the gang leader, Deloup Lacroix.
Yeah.
And I hope I pronounced that her actual name right, Lacroix, or something like that.
I believe it's Lacroix or Lacroix. Yeah.
I think it's Lacroix.
But when we talked about more advanced cyberware, this was where we're talking about. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yes, she does have a. She was the concept art that you guys are seeing there was done by Danilo Franco, and the sculpt was done by Diogo Tavares. And yeah, she's the leader of this gang. She is basically as old as the leader of the other gangs, but with high enough tech cyberware. 70s are the new 20s, right? So she's very well put together. She's mostly machine now, so that's a thing. And she's kind of the heavy gunner for this group.
Yeah.
And it's a big gun. It's a big energy gun, right? You do not want to be hit by this thing. And this is an awesome character as well. And you will notice all of the characters for this particular game are at a much higher level of tech. So yeah, this one is, I believe this one is my favorite from this bundle. Yeah. I just love the big gun, man.
I love the detail in the clothing as well. Like the cargo pants and the bomber jacket just really fit this mini really nicely.
So yeah, I love she's also holding the helmet, the bike helmet. It's not keep yourselves. You don't survive to be as old as these guys are if you're just playing willy-nilly with your safety, except for the Wild Riders maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the leader of our Cyberbreath gang. So let's move on to our next character in the gang.
Okay.
Which is going to be the Talent Scout. Do you want to take this one, Luca?
Yes. The Talent Scout is kind of the person who hires for this gang. The concept art for the Talent Scout was done by Lucas Leandro, and the sculpt was done by Gustavo Glissi. And he is kind of the charismatic, but more of a intelligence
Yeah,
and tech scout and anything.
He's the more business-like
Yeah.
guy, right?
Uh-huh.
He's probably the second in command. He's the guy that makes sure the gang stays, just on the right side of the law for as long as they need to. And yeah, he's the one that's keeping people out of trouble and selecting the ones with the right skill to invite into the group.
Yes.
So, a very, very versatile kind of futuristic soldier type. So very, very versatile, very usable in a lot of different environments and a lot of different settings.
And this is the first menu we can see actually the visual identity for the Cyberbreaths in the back. It's kind of this winged design kind of, which is really, really nice. Can we see the helmet a little bit more? I feel that it's a little bit different.
Yes, and I believe it is as well. And I believe it's one of those that, has an actual, I believe this is the face of the helmet, and the idea would be that he would have, a heads-up display inside, kind of like an Iron Man helmet.
Yeah.
So you don't actually need glass on the front, or you can print this in translucent resin, and then you have the glass that you need. But yeah, another very, very cool character here. Oh, just a second. Let us go back just a little bit to LaCroix here, because she is our last bust for this bundle. So sorry about missing that one, folks. But yeah, this one is an awesome character. We did have to do, she doesn't have the gun on her back on the bust version, and she does have a slightly different pose. And on this version, you can also see the design on the jacket here as well. So a very, very cool sculpt. The helmet here is awesome as well, and you get to see all of the detail that our artists are able to put into the face here and the hair.
Yeah, I love the helmet as well. It feels very much like the high-speed motorcycling rather than just the bike gang kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, now we can move on to our next character, which is going to be our roadkill queen.
Yeah, very much like Ghost in the Shell vibes with this one.
Yes, so the concept art was done by Rafael Oliveira, and the sculpt was done by Denian Lopes.
And she has a gun just coming out of her arm.
She doesn't have a gun. She is a gun.
She is a gun, exactly.
Right. She is the weapon. So
Yeah.
this one is a little bit more of a. She could be a covert character, a little bit more of a spy. She doesn't necessarily like to get up close and personal, but she can still do a lot of damage.
Oh, absolutely. And you don't get the title of queen if you don't have your weapon with you at all times. So she is kind of ready for anything there.
Yes. So as we said before, this one is much. This gang has a much higher tech level than the other two. So you get to do cool stuff like this with foldable gun cyber arm. Or the little arms here from her backpack with the communicator and the viewfinder here, the scope.
Props
right?
to whomever had the idea to kind of part the hands instead of just having it come from
this is a very, very nice detail.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but the way the arm parts in two is very, very creepy. As Luca said, very Ghost in the Shell, very cyberware so advanced that it's starting to become kind of gross again.
Yeah. It's gotten to the second valley of what should we call it?
It's the other side of the uncanny valley.
The uncanny valley,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so let's move on to our next character and our last gang member.
Okay.
You want to take that one, Luca?
Yes, I will. This is our Rollerblade Runner. Not everyone has to be on bikes, really. And she's kind of proving that, especially for a hacker. This one had the concept done by Alec Ribeiro, and it was sculpted by Romário Ramos. So let's take a look at that. And I love this one, really. She has the cyber deck coming out of her arm, which really shows that high-tech kind of thing for the Cyberbreaths.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit of an advanced, the big boy from Fallout.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this one is another awesome character. We have done a couple of skaters before. We actually did one as a loyalty reward, which what was her name again? It was something 12 because we did Mist 21 first.
Yes.
And then we did
It's
Violet 12.
Violet 12, yes.
Yes. So yeah, this one is kind of from the same school of thought and inspiration. She does have her gun on the side here. It's a very, very dynamic pose. She knows how to use the rollerblades. She's very, very comfortable in them. And I love the kind of, it's almost short enough to be, a bolero jacket.
Yeah.
Just floating here. The movement from this piece, it's really, really inspiring. It's awesome. It's really great. So yeah, this is our last character for the gangs. We still have another couple of characters to get through, and then we're going to be showcasing the bikes. So yeah, let's get through our last couple of characters. These guys are kind of NPCs here. The Speedbuster cops.
Yeah.
We have two of them, two different versions. It's slightly different poses and a male and female versions. So these ones have their concept art done by Lucas Leandro, and the actual sculpt was done by Demian Lopes. So let's check that out.
Yeah, when you're dealing with this much organized crime, you just need someone capable enough to bust them in some way. And these are the people for the job. Yeah, I love the details on them. I love the shoulder pads and kind of the visor with the helmet. It feels very Judge Dredd to me, but in a more how the other people other than Judge Dredd would work on a daily basis.
Yes. So let's check out the actual models here. And just a second here, guys. Can we do the models real quick?
Okay.
Oh, I think we were actually resizing the view there.
Yes.
So let's just let that go for a little bit. Oh, yeah, there we go. So these are the models. This is the male version of the of the Speedbuster cop. These are the guys that are going to be hanging around behind an outdoor sign or something, just waiting to bust for someone for speeding. And then what they're going to do is they're going to take their bike and they're going to race you down if you try to outrun them. It's going to be very, very hard to outrun them. We, of course, I love the little detail of the plates here, so you can, actually put down, police here and paint whatever you want, or put a little sticker there.
Yeah, but it lets you choose where they're from, kind of.
Yes.
It's really nice.
Yes. So let's showcase. Why don't we showcase the bikes?
Yes.
So we actually have a couple different bikes for this set. We have a bike for the cops, which is the Tribunal. So let's showcase that concept art. So that's the Tribunal. It does have a little bit of it's very, very futuristic. It has the canopy above it, so it's safer. But still,
they're
it's a
not
bike.
risking their lives on the road that much.
Yes. Let us showcase it here live on stream. So yeah, this is the bike, guys. We have them. We have all of the bikes in 32 millimeters. The wheels here actually turn, which I think it's very, very nice. And you must be wondering, okay, how do I get that model in and out of there? that's very easy actually. The top part comes out, so it's a little bit more versatile. You don't need to use the top part if you don't want to, and the pilot here actually comes out as well. So this is the first of the bikes, and it has some room on the back for a radio and some equipment, probably some ammo. With the gangs that these cops are going to be having to face, it will be nice to have some. Let me adjust things here to have some extra ammo. So yeah, this is the first of our bikes. Again, with concept art. I don't know if we actually said this. With concept art done by Francisco Lobo and sculpt done by Anderson Pioli.
Okay. Let's move on to the bike for the first gang. We mentioned from the Leather Rebels, this is the Hell Ride.
Yes, and we haven't actually for the bikes here.
Actually, that's the one from the Wild Riders, the Hell Ride.
Ooh, the Hell Ride
Yes.
is this one?
Yes, that's the
oh
middle
yes,
one.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's this one.
Which has an amazing skull in the front there.
Yes, this one is a great kind of chopper style bike. And I love the idea of if it's coming to get you.
Yeah,
Right.
It has little arms. That's amazing. It kind of drives home the vibe of Scooby Doo in this.
Yeah,
level.
it's almost like it's almost a creature unto itself.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And I do apologize because for the next couple of bikes we don't necessarily have the riders printed. They will be available tomorrow when the bundle comes out. But we do have here the next one. And again, I believe we're off the bike. No, the Hell Ride, which is the next one, was also has concept art by Francesco. Not the Hell Ride. Sorry. The Turbo Rhino. Yeah, this one. Also has concept art by Victor Stoll and was sculpted by Lucas Hayes.
There we go.
So let's check out the Turbo Rhino.
Yeah, this is the bike for the Wild Riders. So the more wild side of the biker gangs.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of a. It gives me a vibe. Those World War II bikes. It looks very much like that, but it does have almost a turbine engine here.
Yeah.
Which is a very very nice detail against the wheels here spin, which is a very nice detail. And again, we have all of these in 32 millimeter for you guys. Next up, we have the jet bike, right?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, so we have the jet bike here, which is this one. Yes,
Yeah.
this one.
That's a more high-tech kind of bike for this bundle.
Yes, with concept art by Igor Gonçalves and sculpted by Lucas Hayes. So the jet bike, is one of those bikes where you have to get into a borderline uncomfortable position to be able to ride it. I will say it tends to be a little bit easier on the ladies. This position.
It's a bad position, but it's good for aerodynamics. I'm sure.
It's good. It's very very good for aerodynamics. Like almost all, like basically any fast motorcycle, any fast bike will kind of force you to hang on to the bike for dear life.
Yes.
As it tries to rip your arms out.
It's definitely not a bike for beginners.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I think this is it for our bikes. So let's move on to a couple of other objects in this bundle before we get to, I think, one of the highlights for this bundle, which are the props. But let's get through a couple of the objects here. So first off, we have the garage. And the garage is, it's a very, very nice terrain piece, and I'm going to be trying to show as much as I can of it here. The garage was sculpted has concept art by David Lucas, and was sculpted by Anderson Pioli. So you guys are seeing the top there with the roof, right? And we can actually remove the roof, and I think there's a couple of pieces that are not attached here. We can actually remove the roof and see how it looks like inside. And it comes with the, a couple of tools and a couple of workbenches kind of pre-built in. A little bench here for someone to sit, a little computer there. And it's a very, very nice, set piece, a very nice piece for a diorama, right?
I love the storytelling that just a tire on the roof kind of carries with it. If you notice on the roof right
yes.
there. Yeah.
Yes. It's almost like the how do we put it? The Breaking Bad, pizza on the roof story. How the hell that get there?
They got to visit
and I think actually there's a reason. It may be just that they had a leak. They put some boards there and they put the tire, just to give it a little extra weight, so the boards wouldn't fly off. And it's a very, very nice piece. It has the backside here with a little door, little garbage can. Very, very nice. And we also have, if we're going to have, the kind of the garage, which is kind of the mechanics shop. We're also going to have a little bit of a gas station here going on. So we have the gas pump, which was done by
Léo Tomba, and the concept was done by Léo Tomba, and it was sculpted by Lucas Reis. And the gas station we're going to show right now, the concept was done by David Lucas, and the sculpt was done by Anderson Pioli.
Yes, and I think it's actually on my other page here, so that's why I wasn't finding. I was like, okay, where the hell is it?
That's kind of ready to cover. Don't worry.
Yes, where actually is the little
the gas pump is right here.
Yeah, it was on the front. So, anyways, so we have the gas pump here. Let us showcase that first. It's a little gas pump. You can print a bunch of these and put them below something like this, which is the little roof. So all of these, the rain pieces go very, very well together. So you can assemble a diorama. You can assemble a little scene for your if you are playing in the scenario, and I can actually kind of already see the scene, right? So you got a couple of characters around here, a couple of people on the roofs, getting ready to shoot. Maybe they're having a meeting here. So this is a very, very nice scene, and you guys can do a lot of it. The roof here of this gas station roof also has the little detail where you can put a sticker or paint some sign in here, whatever you like, and it's going to work wonderfully. So yeah, that's it for the objects for this bundle, except for the props, and we have 3 of them this time. We do have to give a little bit of a disclaimer on this one. A couple of people mentioned to us that it may not be, depending on where you are, it may not be fully legal to print a functional piece like this, a brass knuckles or something like that, or a blade. So definitely check the legislation wherever you live. All of our pieces here at Loot are meant as display pieces or for games. They are not meant to cause harm or to be used in any way other than for entertainment. But yeah, let's check out the brass knuckles for each gang, starting with the Leather Rebels. And yeah, these things are actually quite hefty. That is the concept art. That one was done by Igor Gonçalves, and I believe all of these, the concept art was done by Igor Gonçalves, and the sculpt was done by Alex Maric. So yeah, let's check out the actual sculpt, and I love the detail here. Remember the on their back, the Leather Rebels had the Grim Reaper with a D20 somewhere. We also have the D20s here for the eyes.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very, fairly hefty thing, and from whichever side you look at it, it's a very, very nice thing. This is the resin version that we have. We also have another version that we actually didn't, we didn't finish, we didn't glue, but we have a version for all of the brass knuckles that was done for FDM. And this one was, it's cut in two pieces to make it as efficient a print as possible. So, very, very little overhang for FDM here. If we cut it in two, and then all we have to do is assemble it, and maybe with some putty here to finish the seam. But again, a very, very nice piece as well. So we did this for the FDM version for all of the props in this bundle, and let's move on to the second prop, which is going to be the brass knuckles for the Wild Riders.
Yes. And this is very much like a functional brass knuckle.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't use it as one.
But I mean functional as in the design of it, like in meant for functionality, not for necessarily beauty.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a couple of loops of bike chain here. It does have a little bit of a code here inscribed on it for those eagle-eyed among you, and yeah, again, it's a very, very nice let's get down to business brass knuckles. And again, this one also has the FDM version, also split into two parts to make it as efficient a print as possible with the minimal amount of supports. And the finish, I will say the finish is for FDM, straight out of the printer, is not as nice as resin, but it's still very, very good, right? For these species, which is quite nice. And last but not least, we have the brass knuckles for the Cyberbreath gang.
Yeah.
And here we go. There we go, the brass knuckles here. Again, none of these are meant to be, actually used. They are meant to be display pieces. So keep that in mind. And yeah, there we go. And, yes, I guess this is it. I think we got through all of the bundle.
Yes.
We do have some time to answer some questions from you guys. I did see some questions going through the chat, and I didn't stop to answer them, but I do want to get through them now. But before we do that, let's just go back to a couple of our announcements again, and then we will announce the name of our next sci-fi bundle, which should get a couple of you guys fairly excited for things to come. So if you want to start, Luca?
So let's start off with a few video announcement for today. It is our From Zero to Giant Turtle video that is coming out sometime this month, which will follow the full process behind building Gullthrot, the fortress-backed tortoise from Crusade of Darkness. This is a very exciting video, guys. So keep an eye open for that. Do you want to talk a little bit about our loot announcements?
So we're going to have a paint party. So this Thursday we're going to have a paint party on Loot's Discord. So it's going to be at 11 a.m. PDT, or we are in Brazil, so that would be 3 p.m. Brasilia time.
Yes.
So definitely just check out the time zones, and if you could join us, we would love it. We'd love to have you with us. We're going to have a couple of people from Loot that are going to be painting. We're going to have a couple of people from the community. So just join us, come and chat, open up your camera, show us what you're working on, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So again, this Thursday, 11 a.m. PDT.
Yes, and finally, we have the name of our next sci-fi bundle. A bundle that is actually very connected to Ian Lonehill, one of the characters in this bundle.
Yes.
The name of the next sci-fi bundle is The Wild Frontier.
Oh yeah. So repeating for everyone at home.
The Wild Frontier.
Yes. There we go.
And this frontier is, far out there. It's not, it's not just over here on the other side of a continent. It's farther away from there than that. And I do want to get to. We do have some time for community questions and comments and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I will go back a little bit. There are a couple of comments that I want to answer. But if you have any questions, just drop them in chat. Lucas Boza, or a member of our support team, is on chat right now, and he dropped like all of the different time zones to make it easy for you guys. So yeah, if you guys have any questions.
We have a question from Awkward Burb. Can any of the riders fit all of the bikes?
I don't think so. So
Yeah.
each rider is made to fit a specific bike. So we have 4 bikes and 4 different riders that go into them.
Mm-hmm.
We do want to make, in the future, we're probably going to try to make that a reality. But the bikes had fairly different designs, and we didn't quite manage to make them look good and all have the same pose.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry about that. So we have 4 riders and 4 bikes, and each rider goes to a specific bike. Jake Sells is, it's very close there. But yeah, let's see here. Miss Sabiran, isn't the earlier paint guide coming for the statues? An Nidavellir paint guide for the statues of Journey to Nidavellir? I'm not sure that we actually did one. I don't think so.
I think we only have like painting kind of...
The painting time lapse?
The
of the
time
statues?
lapse. I'll check it.
Yes, but I don't think we have a full-on tutorial coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Fabio Fernandez, do you guys have any plans to do some fantasy characters like elves, orcs, trolls for sci-fi for us Shadowrunners? Or is it stepping too close to copyright? I don't think the problem there would be copyright. I will say that we have been hearing the requests of the community about the variety in the sci-fi bundles, and we are already working on that. For fantasy characters specifically, sci-fi fantasy is not something that is, necessarily super popular. We have Shadowrun, and that's kind of it. That is something that we want to do and that we're going to try to do at some point, but the timing is kind of iffy on that one. So we need to plan ahead, and we'll let you guys know with some when we're doing something like that. We'll let you guys know with some time before it.
A question from Awkward Burb. Question, suggestion, request. Would it be possible to post a live schedule on the Facebook page at the beginning of every month, just to kind of know the scheduling?
I think that's something that we can actually do a little bit better. We need to get a little bit better about announcing when our live streams and when our events are going to be. The Facebook is not necessarily the best place to do it because even there sometimes things get lost. But I think it's a good idea to just post ahead of time the schedule and the times.
As a rule of thumb for most live streams, it's usually the day before we launch the bundle. Yeah.
So we usually try to do them, the last business day before the bundle release. So if the bundle release would be on a Monday, we will likely do the live stream on a Friday. So and it will likely go like that. Neto is actually saying, from our team is actually saying that we actually have a painting tutorial for Thor from Journey to the Devilier. But I don't think we're going to have them for the other statues. I think that ship has kind of sailed now. Yeah, true. There is Starfinder, but again, Starfinder has very specific alien races, and there we would be worried about, infringing copyright. That would be a little bit trickier even than just, doing some cyberpunk orcs or some space orcs or something like that. Because, orcs and goblins and elves are kind of everywhere, but a Lashunta is kind of a very specific thing. So yeah. Let's see here. What else? I did see a comment before. Okay, so Leon Moffat is asking. So when are we? He basically asked us, when are we going to get away from the cyberpunk aesthetic? And I want to get a little into it, just a little bit. We have been seeing the comments on the community about people wanting more variety. People want us to go back into space for our next bundles. We have been seeing those for a while, and we are acting on those comments. So for our next sci-fi bundle, you guys are already going to see a little bit of a shift, a little bit of a change. We have a couple of characters in those bundles that get a little bit away from the cyberpunk aesthetics. The only reason we haven't been doing this so far is that we have been planning we plan our bundles with like several months in advance. So a lot of the bundles were kind of already done when we started seeing that particular kind of feedback, right? So sorry about that, but you can expect to see some very, very cool things in the future, both in space, some different themes, right? So we're going to have get it back to having a little bit more variety in sci-fi.
There you go. Kenshi B is asking, when are we bringing back Chimera insects or maybe kaiju?
Kaiju is very, very nice. I think a kaiju bundle would be a little bit of a tricky thing to do. We can't do, just gargantuan creatures.
Yeah.
But maybe we could do like a couple of gargantuan creatures and then, a bunch of robots to fight them. Yeah. Kind of a Pacific Rim vibe.
Have them fight each other too, which would be really nice.
So yeah, the kaiju theme has been on the slate for the longest time. Like ever since we started the sci-fi bundle, kaijus have been on our list of things that we have to do at some point. We just haven't figured out, the right way to do them yet. They were actually, at one point, they were actually slated to be one of the bundles. But once we actually got to the meeting where we were going to decide, okay, how are we going to do this? We had a lot of ideas, but none of them, we couldn't really achieve any of them in the time that we had. So we ended up pushing it into the future. But it is on the slate to be done at some point. Tokusatsu bundle, Kaiju versus Mecha. Yes, it's all on the
radar kind of.
Yes. We know what you guys have been asking for, and we are working on, figuring out how to make it happen. Celestino Garza is actually giving a great idea. Maybe a kaiju per bundle like we're doing for fantasy. So maybe a season of kaijus for sci-fi. The seasonal model is not something that we are doing in sci-fi yet. But it is a nice idea. It would be something that would, link up the bundles in some way.
Yeah.
For the sci-fi bundles, we are a little bit more freeform in the ways that we connect them. So, But that would be a nice thing to do. Different styles of kaiju, so we can have our giant fire-breathing lizard. We can have our giant insect, or giant kind of beautiful flying insect. We can have a bunch of different things, and they could all work out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jake Cell saying a Lutarask would be sick, and it would be sick. I agree with you, but it may be, we may have to do something like that on our fantasy bundle first, or at least at the same time. It would be kind of awesome to get, a sci-fi version of the Tarask, and a fantasy version of a Tarask, and a sci-fi version of a kaiju monster in the same month, and maybe you can make them fight each other.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
So yeah, I think we're getting to the end of the questions. I've seen, a bunch of, people kind of confirming what we're talking about here, which is great. And again, I do want to reiterate, we are always paying attention to the community feedback, and sometimes we take a little while to act on that feedback, but it's just because the bundles are kind of already done. So there's not that much that we can do to change them. But yeah, we are always paying attention to it, and we are always thinking about, okay, how can we actually make this work for you guys? So yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking around with us for this whole live stream. This has been Highway Slicers, or sci-fi bundle for March.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy that we're already in March. So
yeah.
Thank you so much, and see you guys next time.
See you guys. Bye bye.